The meeting of the Hammond Common Council for January 22nd is now in session. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would remain standing for the invocation. Dear God, we come together today to give you thanks for the good gifts that you have given us. We ask for your guidance as we conduct the business at hand, and we pray for your love to live among us. Amen. Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich.
Here.
Spitali. Here. Kalwinski.
Here.
Torres. Higgs.
Here.
Emerson.
Here.
Warple.
Here.
Riekels.
Here.
Venez.
Here. Let the record reflect 8 present, 1 absent. Moving on to reading of the minutes.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Spitali.
make a motion to accept the minutes from January 8th, 2018.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Emerson, to accept the minutes of the January 8th, 2018 meeting. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to approval of claims.
Madam Chair Lady,
Yes, Councilman.
move for approval of claims January 3rd, 2018 through January 17th, 2018. For council meeting January 22nd, 2018, beginnings with claims dated 1/9/18 and endings with claims dated 1/17/18. Claim number 3238 through claim number 529 for a total of $8,717,546.96. I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Higgs, for approval of claims from January 3rd through January 17th, 2018. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Torres. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes.
Riekels.
Yes.
Venez.
Yes. Let the record reflect that claims from January 3rd through January 17th, 2017 passes 8 in favor, 1 absent. Moving on to public hearings, and there are none. Communications.
Madam President.
Yes, Councilman Higgs.
Just to inform the public, I have decided, since the federal government is shut down, to table my resolution of 18R05 to the next meeting. So, just for clarity in everyone's minds. But you're still welcome to speak under public expression in regards to this particular resolution.
Thank you. Any other communications?
They already know.
Any other communications? Any other communications? Communications are now closed. Moving on to committee reports. There were no committees that met this evening. However, at this time, I would like to read the upcoming Community and Crime Watch meetings. On Wednesday, February 7th, Edison Community Watch will meet at Edison School beginning at 6:30 p.m. Edison on the Road will meet at the Golden Manor Senior Apartments on Friday, February 9th. That begins at 1 p.m. Harrison Park Crime Watch has been canceled for the month of February. Irving Community Watch will meet Friday, February 2nd, 9:15 a.m. at Irving School. Pulaski Park Neighborhood Association will meet Tuesday, January 30th at the American Legion on Goslin beginning at 6:30 p.m. And I would like to make a special announcement. The Hammond FOP is inviting everyone and their family to attend a screening of Fallen 2017, hosted by the Hammond Fraternal Order of Police Lodge Number 51. This documentary, directed by Thomas Marchese, dives deep into the emotional response and effect on peers and family of line-of-duty police deaths. The special screening will be held in the Morton High School auditorium, that's at 6915 Grand Avenue in Hammond, on February 6th at 6:30 p.m. Following this special event, there will be a short discussion and review of the documentary. If you are interested in attending this event, you can email hammondfop@gmail.com. These men and women serve and protect us, and as I always say, allow us to sleep at night knowing that they're there to protect us along with our firefighters. I think this is an excellent opportunity for each and every one of us to be able to see the anxiety and fear that everyone who serves us has to go through. So please, take some time, come on out, bring some of your neighbors, because community is not just about me, it's about us. Committee reports is now closed. Ordinance third and final passage, there are none. Introduction of ordinances.
Item A, ordinance 18-01, sponsored by Councilman Warple. And ordinance amending ordinance number 6066 and ordinance 8435, also known as section 150.070 of the Hammond Municipal Code as it pertains to emergency board-ups in Hammond.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Warple.
move pass on first, second reading and council as a whole on February 12th at 5:15.
Second?
Motion by Councilman Warple, second by Councilman Spitali, for first and second reading of ordinance number 1801 with a committee meeting, council as a whole on February 12th of 2018 at 5:15 p.m. Any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Warple.
this basically just expands the ordinance that allows board-ups to include more than fire board-ups. It includes weather-related issues, cars hitting buildings, whatever. It's not included in the ordinance we currently have.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Higgs.
I guess my question would be to Councilman Warple, is the fees going to increase in regards to these particular items?
Not pertaining to this ordinance, no.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, ordinance 18-02, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance creating a new section of Title III, Chapter 32, pertaining to the use of confidential funds by the Hammond Police Department.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Spitali.
move to first and second reading, refer to council as a whole, for a committee meeting set for 5:15.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Kalwinski, for first and second reading of ordinance number 1802 with a committee meeting, council as a whole on February 12th at 5:15 p.m. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
President Vines, that concludes the introduction of ordinances.
Moving on to resolutions.
Item A, Resolution 18R-01, sponsored by Councilman Warple. A resolution of the Hammond Common Council approving a written order of the Hammond Plan Commission as it pertains to Plan Commission Resolution Number 2018-01 that approved amending declaratory resolution number 08-2017 of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission, amending the redevelopment plan for the Hammond Central Redevelopment Area, expanding of the existing redevelopment area and related allocation area, and further consolidating the depot allocation area with the Hammond Central allocation area.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Warple.
move for adoption of 18R04.
Second.
Motion by Councilman motion by Councilman Warple, second by Councilman Spitali, for final passage of 18R04. Any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman.
basically what the clerk said, it kind of speaks for itself. It creates a redevelopment, or expanding a redevelopment area on Indianapolis Boulevard from 165th to the Borman, and on Summer Street from Indy to 165th.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Higgs.
I guess my question would be to Councilman Warple. Can he give me some kind of clarity as to what kind of expansion is supposed to occur there?
It's the expansion of the TIP district.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Torres. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes.
Rakels.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes. Let the record reflect 18R-04 passes, 8 in favor, 1 absent.
President Vines, that concludes the reading of the resolutions.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to new and unfinished business. Any new and unfinished business?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Higgs.
just want to identify there was a community forum in my district, and just want to thank those individuals that came out. Hopefully, in the near future, we can get some things resolved as it relates to the 3rd District and my constituents. As I stated previously, there is some opposition in regards to the pool, but we certainly want to make sure that it's not just a hole sitting in the park, and we want to do some renovations. So I would hope that the residents in my district voice their concerns to the mayor's office in regards to this particular ordinance.
Thank you, Councilman Higgs. Any other new and unfinished business?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman.
I know there was a correspondence in regards to that particular issue, and the mayor wrote some notes and notations, and I did put in your boxes identifying all the letters that were submitted to the churches within my district and in my community, so that you all are informed that they were notified of every and each incident or occurrence when it related to any issue affecting the 3rd District of the City of Hammond.
Thank you. Any other new and unfinished business?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Emerson.
just like to announce, for those that haven't heard, there's Mayor's Night Out this Wednesday at Edison Elementary School. Madison, roughly Madison and 171st, off Calumet right there, you can't miss it. Starts at 6:30. It's a chance to ask anyone, department heads, questions, and if they can't answer it, they'll get back to you. Thank you.
Dairy Bell is a good landmark.
Maryville, yes,
Yes, it's by Dairy Bell.
6:30.
All righty. Any other new and unfinished business?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman
I
Hagan.
certainly want to send my condolences to Reverend Cato Brooks' family in the loss of him as a minister and pioneer in the city of Gary. My condolences to his family.
And ours as well. Thank you. Any other new and unfinished business? Any other new and unfinished business? New and unfinished business is now closed. Moving on to public expression. This is the opportunity for the public to address their concerns. There is a 3-minute time limit, and the first speaker of the evening is Cindy Miller. If you would please state your name and address for the record.
Cindy Miller, 535 Logan Drive, Hammond, Indiana.
Thank you.
I just want to present the petition for the Gary, to keep the Gary bus running in Hammond, because last time we were here in December, we didn't have copies of them, and I have copies of all the petitions today to present to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The next speaker is Laurel Kilpatrick. And once again, if you would state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Laurel Kilpatrick, and I'm the project coordinator at Everybody Counts North at 438 Fayette Street. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to be here to support these two women who are talking about the availability or the continued availability of the bus service where they live in Hammond, Indiana. Right now, Gary Public Transit is providing that standard service, that accessible route, along with 2 other paratransit options. But in terms of people who don't qualify for paratransit, Gary Public Transit is the only option. So I wanted to support these 2 women who are talking about the grave importance of being able to access public transportation, and we feel that it is of utmost importance that this be supported throughout the city. Right now, Gary Public Transit are the ones who are making this service possible. Also, we wanted to continue to put into the air the importance of addressing issues of the community, folks with disabilities, people who need these services, not just transportation, but also access to safe shelters, access to accessible shelters, access to accessible places to live. And by accessible, I mean places that are able to be reached and able to be entered and exited safely by people with all types of disabilities. And thank you very much for listening. Again, I wanted to support these 2 women for being brave enough to get these petitions, and they did this of their own volition, and we thought that was great. And ever since then, they've been, thank you, ever since then, they've been volunteers at our center. So thank you all very much for hearing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The next speaker of the evening is Herlinda, and forgive me, I can't read your writing. And once again, your name and address for the record. Thank you.
My name is Linda Oviedo. My address is 5111 Seoul, Hammond, Indiana, 46320. And I'm here, okay, I just want to thank you for this time. And I'm here in regards to the public transportation. Okay, we the little people, that's what I call us. We need the bus service. And, okay, I just want to talk about the railroad. Okay, that's supposed to go up the South Shore. Okay, that sounds good. And the high school, the high-tech school, that sounds really rocking. That's my words. And also the sports building on Indianapolis Boulevard. Yeah, that's real good. I'm interested in that. And we need the buses, and if the bus could go, that route, that would be wonderful. So
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. The next speaker of the evening is Max Wolf.
Maxwell Wolf, 7128 Monroe Avenue, Hammond, Indiana.
My name is Xavier Cervantes, 9224th Place, Hammond, Indiana.
We are students at Gavitt High School in Hammond, and we're here to advocate for the DACA program and the support of it by this city. Whereas the program, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA, was created through an executive action signed by President Barack Obama in August 2012, and whereas nearly 790,000 young unauthorized immigrants have received work permits and deportation relief through the federal government's DACA program, and whereas DACA is popular with the public and enjoys the support of employers, educators, community leaders, and elected officials from both sides. According to a Morning Consult and Political poll in April 2017, 78% of American voters support giving dreamers the chance to stay permanently in America.
President Trump is trying to get DACA repealed and wants 790,000 young immigrants deported back to Mexico, who have accounted for nearly $23,288,000 in taxes in 2016. This is an act of absence of sympathy and compassion, and in my opinion, out of spite. And that is why we are coming to you, the Hammond City Council, to ask for your plead our city as a safe zone, where no dreamers or their families be subjected to a fate not their own making. We're asking you to pass this resolution in support of our neighbors and friends.
These next 3 weeks are important as Congress will be making a decision on DACA. I ask you to act today to pass this resolution and show Senators Donnelly and Young where our city stands. So it's very important that this gets passed because kids do not deserve this.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. It's very... It's so very nice to see young people engaged and at our council meeting to voice their opinion. Thank you for coming out this evening. The next speaker is Xavier Cervantes. You were all part of that. Terry Stiegel. And your name and address for the record, sir.
My name's Terry Stiegel. I'm a member of Steelworkers Local 1010, which is located at 7047 Grand Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. This is our union hall. And I'm here to speak briefly about DACA also, and just to inform the council that Local 1010 unanimously passed a DACA resolution similar to the one that the Lake County Council passed. And we're trying to get the cities and towns in the area to do likewise. I think we see what's going on in government. It's a whole different twist these days. And, you know, we have to have a proactive citizenship because of the way things are ran in Washington and the way they try to, they're out to destruct government is what they're trying to do. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. And you can see today, I mean, they even have Lindsey Graham, who's a very conservative senator, they even have him frustrated. So it's important that people speak up. It's important that the elected officials speak up on this issue and that we take the message to Washington. It's our way to go and lobby for what's right and just and stop this treatment of people the way it's going down in this country, because it's horrible. You know, they're breaking up families. They're in, you know, it was just in Kalamazoo, Michigan, a doctor with a green card. They went to his house and arrested him because of something that happened when he was a teenager, because he had 2 offenses when he was a teenager. And he's in jail now. The hospital's even trying to help get him out because they need him. So this is the kind of attitude and things that the Immigration Service is having toward people, and it's happening all over the country where they're busting families up. So we need to do whatever we have to do to lobby this situation from the local perspective, and like people say, politics is local, and that's what we need to do. We need to mobilize the citizenship in our communities to speak for what's right and just for people in our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Louis Sharp.
Yes, Louis Sharp, address 907 May Street, 46320. And my concern tonight for you is that the funding for the, in today's paper, it showed that the funding for the HUD, from HUD to the HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Department in East Chicago has been canceled due to not following through properly with the applications for grants and concerning the water pollution and contamination that's going on over there. And I was wondering what, if anything was going to be done with that here in Hammond, as far as taking care of our pollution needs, because there are indicators in the trees and in the water. I have a lot of experience with water management and bridge repair, and I was wondering if there was anything being done to, repeating myself here, to make sure that we can handle applying for the grants necessary to pursue this here in Hammond.
Okay, thank you. This is the time for you to voice your concerns. After the meeting, one of us will speak to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Richard Moore Morris.
Good evening. My name is Rosharda Moore Morris, and I live at 6119 Reverend Burns Drive, and I'd like all of you all to take a deep breath. I'm not here to beat you across your head, call you out of your name, but I am here to present some information that is very near and dear to my heart. And it involves how the decision came for the allocation of the swimming pools in Hammond, Indiana. I am a swimmer. I have swam since I was 2.5, living in an all-black community. I lived across the street from the swimming pool, and my mom demanded that we swim. She could not swim. On 90-degree days, she would sit on the front porch and have a water hose on her legs, but she demanded that we learn how to swim. Not only did she demand, the whole neighborhood that I grew up in East Chicago demanded that New Edition learn how to swim. My uncle, because we lived in a segregated and had a segregated pool, became the lifeguard, and not only did he become the lifeguard, he became the swimming instructor. And I can remember everything, every day, every morning, going to that pool to learn how to swim. I love swimming, but I swam because it is a life skill. It is the only sport in which you can save your life. And to me, that is more important than anything else that we can do in relation to recreation in this community. There is a nationwide effort to get parents to encourage their children to swim. Swimming saves your life. And to me, it goes to another level. I lived across the street from the swimming pool, and it stays with me to this day. Some young men, it was 90 degrees, they climbed over the fence to get out of the hot weather. I grew up when there were no air conditioners, and you know what I'm talking about. We sat on the front porch to get cool. And during the course of their swim that night, you could hear the screaming because one of the young men went to the deep end and he couldn't swim. And to see that body come out of that pool and be a young person, it frightens me to death. Now, I'm not against councilmen of the 1st District, Klawinski, having a pool. I really am. And when I heard the discussion, I automatically assumed, because the geographical outline of the city, that there would be a pool in Robertsdale. And the way our city is laid out, it makes it difficult to distribute resources to the people in this community. But I am concerned about the rest of the children in this community, that they are given an opportunity to learn to swim. I understand about allocation of resources and how difficult it is to run and manage swimming pools. And I'm not here to beat you across your head. I know all of you very personally, except 2 of you. I watch you become a councilman, and you're very good. You really are. Mr. Spitali, you're the nicest boss that I have ever had. And Mr. Emerson, I've worked with you on the referendum, and you were great. I saw you do some things that I never thought would happen in this community. And Ms. Benez, your husband is the nicest man that I've ever known. And Markovich is my friend. We have laughed, we talk. My councilman, you know I support you. I vote for him, and I'll continue to vote for him, because every time I've called him, he responded in a very responsive way, quickly, and he's always come back and said, Rashada, is there anything else happening? Now, the other 2, I don't know you, but if you ask people, I have always been respectful, and I will always be respectful to you. And I'm not blaming you for this error. I'm saying this is some additional information that you need to look at. There is a nationwide effort that's going on to teach parents or encourage parents to teach their children to swim, because it is a life skill. It is the only sport that you can undertake that will save your life. The second incident that is near and dear to my heart that upsets me is to see the 4 African-American young men who drowned, and their parents couldn't help them because they couldn't swim. This is very important for our community, and our children need to be able to swim. The allocation of resources, I understand. But I need you to rethink, how do we make this so that other children in our community can swim? I was listening to the radio when Jed put on the radio what the mayor has said, and I think it was a flippant response. But in today's world, I would not let my 12-year-old son ride his bike from East Hammond, and I'm through, to a pool. And the only thing I ask is that you rethink this and see how we can reallocate some of the resources. So maybe another pool could be put in the city of Hammond. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Carlotta Blake King.
Good evening. Good evening. Carlotta Blake King, 1004 Highland Street, Hammond, Indiana. I would like to begin by thanking Councilman Higgs for the town hall meeting and the information that was dispersed at that meeting, especially regarding the swimming pools. I was not aware that we were only getting 1 pool. I was on the assumption that the city was going to at least provide 2 pools, considering the size of our city, the census, the last census statement, our schools and the children that participate, and the fact that we are, as Rashada Morris indicated, we're taking away a life skill from our children with no concept of how these kids from the south side and central is going to get to the far north side of the city of Hammond. And to replace it with I'm understanding it's a splash pool. There's been no renderings that the community has seen. We have no timetable in terms of if and when the pools will be demolished. We have no renderings as to where the pools will be placed in the park. We have no idea of any supervision of these splash pools, because we know you can drown with 2 teaspoons of water. And if we just see children, if it's going to go on 24/7, as the gentleman indicated at the meeting, that's a hazard, a safety hazard that someone has not considered. So I'm hoping that it's not too late to go back to the drawing board. Even the gentleman indicated that the numbers rose at the Maywood Park from 500 attendance to 900. That's some good data. So what data did you actually use to make that final decision to have only one swimming pool in the city of Hammond with this size and with the demographics and with the geographical state of our city? And one final question. I know when I heard on the radio the mayor's comments that our babies could get on a bicycle and ride to the parks, I know he was just funny. He really didn't mean that. So I'm hoping in the future that he would retract that statement, because if he did mean it, it's insulting to parents to suggest that I'm going to put my niece or nephew on a bicycle and ride from Central Hammond or Hessville all the way down Calumet Avenue to get to Pulaski Park to swim. It's insulting. So I would hope, if nothing else, he would retract that statement and let us know that he was just funny. So I'm hoping for some updates, for some renderings of what's actually going to happen, a timetable, the size of this splash pool. And I'll say in the end, as you have said so earnestly, Councilwoman Vanez, it's not about me, it's about us. But somehow the us in that equation went south. Thank you very much.
The next speaker and the final speaker is George Stroya.
George Stoyer, Robertsdale. This is all well and good about the pools. As I guess complained the last time up here when this ordinance was passed, or resolution, whichever it is, show us the money. The mayor was up here telling us, and backed up, I think, by the city treasurer, these pools were losing $200,000 a year. 200 grand. That's 5 zeros. I mean, great. I'm all for a pool. You know, whatever, Olympic size, you want to compete with Munster, rock and roll. Can we afford it? Is the question. We've got a lot of pokers in the fire, and I fear this city is going to overspend itself. You know, we got one thing after another bond, another this, another that, and man, and whether it's, I forget the term right now, whether it's part of the levy or taken out from the cap loss and all that other stuff, and whether it's exempt from the levy is, you know, you got to take all that. I'm sure you guys have. I'm not telling you anything new. You know it better than me, I assume. But we're talking hard dollars here. And I just don't understand that you even enacted this ordinance for the pool. Even in Robertsdale, and I live in Robertsdale. But, you know, I don't know. You guys got me on that one.
Madam President,
Thank you. Councilman?
I'd like a motion to reopen new and unfinished business. I so move.
Public expression is now closed. There's a motion on the floor to return to new and unfinished business. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Markovich. Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich. Yes. Spitali. Yes. Kalwinski. Yes. Torres. Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes.
Rakels.
No.
Vanez.
Yes. Motion carries 7 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 absent. Yes, Councilman.
Just so all minds and hearts are clear, initially when this proposal came about in regards to the pools. Petitions were submitted to all the churches within my district and throughout the community, lobbying them to come out and voice their concerns prior to the $8.7 million bond issue to renovate the parks. In this particular language, it states that Pulaski Park will be the pool that remains open versus all the other pools in the city of Hammond. I'm certainly in favor of keeping the pool. I stated before and I stated again now, I'm willing to use my casino dollars that are allocated to my district to do whatever is necessary to keep Maywood Pool open. Thank you.
Any other new and unfinished business? Any other new and unfinished business?
Madam President,
Yes,
I
Council.
move we go back to regular order of business.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn?
So move. I make a motion that we adjourn from this meeting.
Motion by Councilman Higgs, second by Councilman Spitali to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Everyone have a good evening. Thank you for coming out.